And welcome to another episode of the Hammer Drops. I am your host, Leak, coming to you live from my car on my job site. Yeah, you heard that correctly. The whole reason why I'm doing this is because obviously I want to bring more content to you guys as quickly as I can. And, this way there's not this lag of, a week or two between episodes. I want to be able to get you episodes as quickly as I can. So that's why I'm doing this. Um, so let's jump right into today. Today I'm going to talk to you about just what's happened over the weekend and stuff like that, especially with this all these pro-Palestinian marches that are happening. Now they're happening at the Cat State at Washington D.C. at the White House, and just how we have a two-tiered system right now. That favors one and basically will degrade or condemn the other side. It's starting to become more prevalent and more you can see it a lot more, and it's starting to get really annoying, and I'm starting to get real sick of it. And I'm sure you are too, because it shouldn't be like this. You have a corrupt attorney general out there in New York that can talk all she wants about the case against Trump, but yet the judge gags Trump from being able to speak or essentially defending himself in that case on social media. But it's okay for the the attorney general to say whatever she wants, all the lies that she wants, and then we're supposed to sit back and think, okay, you know, you're right. Trump's guilty. There's no collusion going on here. We're supposed to believe that, right? I mean, for me, honestly, I see this and it screams corruption. It screams election interference. It screams that the Biden administration are literally going after the number one person that poses a threat to them for the White House. And that's exactly what's going on. And hopefully this comes out more and more um, as time goes on. And hopefully more and more people wake up. But then now let's go to Twitter here or X or whatever. I've noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed this, I've noticed, I get a lot, and I mean a lot, of Democrat propaganda spewing through my feed from and you can and it's funny because you can tell which one it's just propaganda is because it's like it's a script because you see the same post just maybe tweaked differently from all these other people throughout Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff, and and people just seem to be buying it. They're not putting it together. But I'm here to tell you right now, it's a script. These people are being paid heavily by the DNC to influence you and your decision making coming 2024 election because they want you to vote for Joe Biden. They want you to vote Democrat because they are not done destroying America. Patriots, when are we going to wake up? I mean, we need to do something here. It's almost too late. And I'm not saying that Trump's our savior. I'm not saying that, that at all. But, damn well, if we have 4 more years of Biden or 4 years of Gavin Newsom or 4 years of Kamala Harris or even 4 years of Michelle or Michael Obama or whatever you want to call it, that's going to be a problem. And it will further destroy America and this republic that we live in. They are actively going after our Second Amendment rights. Here in Illinois, they have decided, a federal judge has decided to uphold the assault rifle ban, um, and basically making it illegal for people to buy an AR-15 in the state of Illinois. And you have to register your AR-15 if you live in the state of Illinois. Here's the funny thing: AR does not stand for assault rifle or automatic rifle. People really need to start doing their homework. But you can see all these idiots, all these Democrats, and I hate to say it like that because I don't want to be that person, but you see it all over social media how they're assault rifle ban. Well, AR-15s are not assault rifles. And here's the thing: and I made this point on Facebook on one of the pages that show that this is, that they're upholding it. And the point I made is, did you ever sit back and think there's a reason why they only want you to own a pistol that can only hold 8 to 10 rounds or 8 to 12 rounds, because you can't have extended clips anymore, and not own something with larger capacity? It's because when it comes down to it, the person across from you, when all hell breaks loose, and the one world government, new world order, whatever you want to call it, we get invaded, the person across from you, say they're holding an AR. They got 15, 16, 17 rounds, whatever. You have 5, 6, 7, 8. Who do you think's going to win that fight, that gunfight? And see, it would be one thing if you want to put a ban on AR-15s for the consumer or the everyday person to use, then you should really probably take it out of the hands of military police and all that stuff as well. Because whatever, and I get it, we don't need to own a tank, we don't need to own an airplane, we don't need to own a ship. I get that. But we have a right to own firearms. But again, they want to take that away, and there's a reason for it. And I'll get into that into an episode, because I want one of the next episodes I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you, and I'm going to help you connect the dots on how it was back before China became communist China, and how America is now, and the direction we are going. Because if you put them side by side, it's very scary similarities that are happening. And I'm going to do an episode on that, and that will hopefully explain more of why it's imperative that we fight for our Second Amendment, fight and keep the right to bear arms, even though the Democrats say that the Constitution isn't absolute. I'm sorry, but it is absolute. It's our right under the republic that we're in. But people don't seem to realize that, or and they're not teaching this in school, so it's going to be easier. And again, this is all stuff I'll go over in that specific episode. so, um, so you have that. So that happened, and then you get the pro-Palestinian marches that are going on, and then now it's finally come up to Washington D.C., right up to the White House, and they get in there, and they're rattling the fence, and yet nothing is going to happen to these people. Nothing will happen to the insurrectionists that happened a couple weeks ago at the state capitol when they were taking a vote, because they're Democrats. Have you noticed that if you're a Democrat, you can get away with whatever you want to? But if you're a Republican, whew, forget about it. If you're an independent, forget about it. If you speak up against the Democrats, forget about it. You're fucked. Especially if you speak up against people like Joe Biden and his corrupt administration, his weaponized administration, his weaponized DOJ, FBI, IRS. I mean, you don't think there's a reason why that they don't want to take that 14.7 billion from the IRS to give that to Ukraine, right? There's a reason they don't want to do that. There's a reason why they're bitching about that. It's because that is what's going to police people like me and you. They don't give a shit about the rich. They want to keep their thumb on people like me and you, so they can keep us down. That is what that $14.7 billion is for. The Inflation Reduction Act didn't reduce inflation, and it created more inflation. Joe Biden daily goes out on social media, his administration daily on social media, and they brag and they say how they increased jobs and how the unemployment rate's low, and the economy is booming. And I've said this before. How many of you have gone to the grocery store and are paying double than what you used to for all products? How many of you go to the gas station, put gas in your car, and are paying more at the pump? We all are. We all are paying for more. As far as the jobs go, jobs have increased because jobs are still coming back from the the pandemic, your COVID. And if any new jobs are being created, it's hospitality, which restaurants and stuff like that, which don't pay shit anyways. But the funny thing is that they're not taking the whole, they're padding these numbers, okay? And why I'm saying that they're padding the numbers is because a lot of people that are still unemployed have lost unemployment benefits. If you've ever been unemployed, you know that you apply for unemployment benefits and you get a certain amount of time that you can be on unemployment, and then you use it up, and that's it. Now you're off. They're not accounting for any of those people that have essentially used up all of their unemployment benefits. And that's why unemployment at a low, because these people are still not, they're off the books because they're not getting paid. They're not in the system anymore because they ran out of benefits. They don't want to tell you that. But the GDP is great. You do realize it's in a lot of different states, you have to make six figures a year now to be able to buy a house. At least 120,000 a year to be able to buy a house at the interest rates that they are at right now. But the economy's great. Interest rates on buying a brand new car, same thing, pretty damn high. But the economy's doing great. For two people, I go to the grocery store weekly and spend $300 at least. And that's eating healthy. Now, if we ate like shit, maybe it'd be a little bit cheaper. But $300 a week for groceries when we used to pay $150, that's a 50% increase since 2020. Or 2021, I should say, since this Biden administration has taken over. I've seen a 50% increase on how much we spend at the grocery store and in gas and all that stuff. So that tells me their little inflation is at 8% or whatever. They're full of shit. Inflation's more like, and I've said this before, at least 25, 30, I would even say it's almost up to probably closer to 40% now with how everything is. You realize, come Thanksgiving, it may cost you about $200 to $300 to have that Thanksgiving dinner because of the cost at the grocery store. But do you think your government gives a shit? No. Because you got places like Tyson Foods now that are opening up another plant to get into the whole insect protein, which we've discussed that before. This is all stuff that happened over the weekend, since, probably since Thursday up until now. And a lot of this stuff you're not going to hear on Fox News, MSNBC, nothing like that. You got to dig for it because they don't want to tell you. They want to keep you preoccupied with football, with baseball, with basketball, with sports, and with everything else that's happening in society today. They don't want you to have or know about the pressing matters. So they try to silence it as much as they can. And there's a lot more people starting to wake up, and they're starting to realize that, which is great. But for all of you that think X and Elon Musk is the savior to free speech, I got another thing coming for you. Because censorship is revving up and it's going to get bad. I got a 3-day ban for sticking up for my mother on Facebook from scam artists trying to get her to like their page and friend request them and, hey, you've won this. I get banned because I stick up for my mom. Nothing happens to them. Their accounts are still there over on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it now. I say one thing and I get put on a timeout. And yet I'm seeing stuff that, I don't want to see. I mean, I don't need to see the propaganda from, these DNC influencers that are getting paid for doing what they're doing. I don't want to see it, but I think it's comical. So I'm going to engage that now. And I'm going to throw out my points because, we all know that they're full of shit. They're very uneducated. So I hope you guys are taking a liking to this format because I'm my whole goal, like I said earlier, is to get as much content out to you as possible. Now, I'm not, again, I live a normal life. I work a full-time job. So this is something I don't get paid for. Yes, I do have a sponsor, and it's Miller's Motorcycle Gear LLC out of Algonquin, Illinois. But here's the great thing. I don't get paid from my sponsor. Okay, what I do is try to bring savings to you, my listeners. I don't accept any money from my sponsor. So the only thing I get is if you mention this show when you go to his shop in Algonquin, mention this show, and you get 10% off whatever you buy. I think that's a pretty sweet deal for my listeners. Because I want to maintain what I've said all along and do this 100% on my own. I don't want to have the sponsors. I don't want to be told what I can say or how I can say it or what I can do and what I can't do. And possibly coming soon, I may have another one where it's um, a supplement brand that maybe I may be doing a little bit of stuff for, which I'll be able to bring that to you if you're one of those people that like to work out. But again, I'm not getting paid for it. I'm bringing savings to you. So that is my goal. Um, so I'm gonna cut this episode short because obviously I am working right now, so I got to keep an eye on things that are going on here. I will be back later on this week with some more. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give it a share, give it a like. Let me know in the comments what you think. And I'm going to continue with this process of doing this moving forward to bring as much as I can to you every single week. Because we all know things change every week. So until then, guys, I want you guys to be good to one another and have a great Monday.